The fear within. I'm not talking about fear of spiders or snakes or dogs or any of that. I'm talking about that deep, genuine fear deep down in your heart that brings a tear to your eye when you slightly think about it. That fear of rejection, that fear that you're not good enough, the fear of all those negative things compounded into one. That type of fear deep down inside. That's what I'm talking about. And here's the thing I want you to understand. Everybody's dealing with it. I know Satan tries to convince you you're by yourself and there's nobody else struggling. When you look at other people's social media, they're over there smiling and looking great, posing. They're hurting too, just in a different type of way. Some people do a great job of covering it up. Some people are genuinely doing good, but they still have their moments of downtime where they're hurting and struggling. And I don't want you to believe you're by yourself. We all have it. We're all dealing with it, and we're all responding. We're all at different phases of it, myself included. So first thing is be aware you're not alone, and we're all struggling. The second thing is, I think a lot of you don't even know what you're genuinely afraid of. That deep within fear, you don't even know what it is. And the reason you don't know, because when that fear starts to creep its little head out and you start to get those negative feelings and emotions, you know what tends to happen? We go straight to our phone. We look at social media. Once that scary, nasty feeling comes around, I got to watch Netflix, got to binge watch, got to drink, got to smoke, got to sleep around, got to find some kind of distraction because that fear within is so painful and dark. We just find ways to distract ourselves and we don't want to deal with it. Now, I hear you. There are some recent traumatic events. You know what? Some of you, you're not at a place to deal with it, man. And I understand you need time to recover, to heal. You're not at that point to fight this deep fear right now. So I don't want you to get the false idea that I'm saying, hey, everybody, deal with it right now. No, you need to be in a good emotional place to find out what that deep fear is and where it's all rooted from. Now, some of us, we're emotionally at a more stable spot. Maybe you can start to think about it. Heck, the one biggest thing I can think of is like once you start to get that fear and it starts to creep up, what habit do you have of trying to avoid it? And if you could just become aware of that, I think that's a step in the right direction. Just being aware of what do I do to run from my fear? And is that a good thing for me? Is drinking every time I get this feeling really good for me? Or is it really bad for me? Versus I get this deep fear emotional thing and then I go exercise to work it off, to burn it off. See the difference? They're both the same thing. They're both avoidance, but one of them's productive and one of them's not. And everything I'm trying to do is to help you guys out, help you work through this. Now, look, here's the thing. No matter how good you are emotionally, you're not strong enough to deal with this thing by yourself. You need help. Now, maybe you have a friend who's really up there and knows their stuff and a great mentor, but I'm talking about getting a therapist. Now, I know there's a negative stigma to anybody who has a therapist or, oh, you must be crazy. You must have some major problems if you go see a therapist. And I 100% disagree. I think emotionally I'm very stable. I think I know where I stand. I know that I think I have a lot of my things figured out. I still have my issues that I got to work on, but I still go see a therapist because I'm not going to wait till I have an emotional breakdown. I'm going to try and get better every step along the way. And that's why I see a therapist, because how am I going to tell you guys to go see a therapist if I don't see one myself? And hey, if you really want one, I go to a great one. I'd recommend them to you. I asked him ahead of time, like, can I, put his name out there? And if you send me a direct message, I will let you know who that is. And you can come, who knows, maybe I'll see you there someday. But the key is these therapists, that's what they're trained for. They spend years learning about, social emotional stuff and trauma and how people deal with it and internalize. Like, they're professionals in this area. And they can help you far better than I can or any family member can. Because when it's all said and done with, we're all struggling with something. And we need somebody that's going to be there to help you. Somebody who, by law, cannot tell another person what you just said, who's not going to judge you, who's going to listen to you neutrally. Because a lot of those deep fears, often, those are just lies that we tell ourselves. Telling it to another person neutrally can help you realize what's true from what's false. A lot of those fears are lies deep inside, and I don't want you guys to fall for that. I want you guys to overcome and beat this fear and live the life that's at a whole nother level that's just freeing. Because for years, I was obsessed with pleasing people. And it took me years to realize I was wasting my time by trying to get other people's approval. And I was fearful of what they would think about me. Because in the end, we all have that deep fear within. You can accomplish anything you want as long as you're willing to sacrifice and put in the work. I believe in you. Go get it.